this game. So yeah, I was looking at a couple of these that I was just like, I have no idea what the other people are doing hands. So this one, the guy discarded like a 4-3 and 2 mon from their hand. I'm like, what is up here? So apparently they had this kind of shape going right here. Then they drew into this, and so they have Sanshoku they're looking at. So they have Sanshoku, and then they also have a pair already. They have a straight right here with the 4, 5, 6, and so it's like, oh, we gotta get rid of this. So they start off with the 4. Next turn they draw a 2, so it's like, oh, cool. Go with the 3. Next turn draw 1, drop the 2. And then, yeah, they continued from there. The reason why this hand became kind of cheap later on was because they got their pair from this, and then they decided to take the Reach Nomi with their like mysterious discards right here. Yeah, that's cool. Similarly, so I don't think I cut. So like right here, this guy was like going for Kokushi, and they actually got pretty close. They got like one Shanten right here. The next turn, they weren't going for Kokushi. They were just very, very unfortunate. So they were like doing strange discards from like the first row on. And the reason why is because they were already one Shanten on like the 4th turn. And then from that point on, it was literally just all like sadness for the next 8 turns for them. Yeah. And then they had to finally call for just like Tenpai at the end. Alright, so let's go over my notes. Like always, if you have any questions, whenever I do the review, I'm doing it live as opposed to the game, which has a 5-minute delay. So, ask me anything on the chat, and I'll be sure to answer as soon as I look in that direction. So, start off. East, 1-0, 5th turn, 6th turn, 8th turn. Alright, yeah, this one. So this is like a really good like hand, right? One Shanten away. Got 3 Dora, you know, guaranteed Mongon. All's good, and etc. etc. Then a person reaches. So what do we do here? Well, first off, we don't have any safe tiles except the 1-4 Sozu. So even if we do fold, it doesn't give us anything that much because, you know, we might end up unlucky and not having any safe tiles. Plus, it's really, really early on, and there's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, still 15 unaccounted for Sujis for them. So pushing right now is like expected. We just drew this 1 mon right here, hidden by the 2 mon. It's actually one of our safer tiles, and even if we throw this, we have another safe tile right here. So yeah, start off with the 1 mon, pushing that. Now this one was a bit more difficult, but I still think I probably should have pushed here. Probably. So, probably. Yeah. Yeah. So at this point, it's a little bit different compared to the last turn, because now it's like, well, we got a 5-pin that came out right here, our 1 mon passed, and we also got the 4 so. So now instead of 1 safe tile, we have 1, 2, 3 safe tiles, which is pretty good. And then we just drew this 3 so. So we could continue to push right here if we drop the 2 mon or the 3 sozu. But should we continue to push? Value-wise, this hand is pretty good. Shape-wise, it's not that great. I mean, we do have 1 Yanmin, but the other shape is like 7 Manzu, which is right next to the Dora, which is going to be pretty difficult to get, even if we do Richi on it later on, unless it comes out from this guy. Yeah. So at this point, should we continue to push our hand, or should we just fold? That's kind of the question here. Yeah, usually my big criteria for pushing hands is I need like really, really good shapes. Because when pushing from Shanten, value is important, that you actually have enough value so that whenever you end up in Tenpai, you have something worth fighting for. But if you don't have a good shape, it makes it really, really hard, which is why there's almost like no case that you're going to like hard push with a 7 pairs hand, even if it's like a Mongon, and even in some cases where it's a Hanemon, just because it's like so bad getting from 1 Shanten to Tenpai, especially if you're pushing against a reach. More often than not, you're going to be paying more than you're actually going to be rewarded for that. So let's see, today's date is the 8th. And time to spam my friend's Twitter, or line. Okay. So yeah, I chose not to fight here, mainly because the shapes are kind of bad. If we look on the board, we have 1 7-pin right now, so we have, 4-pin. So there's 7 tiles remaining in this shape, 4 tiles remaining in this shape. So a total of 11 tiles, which isn't that great. Usually I like at least around like 15 plus for 1 Shanten pushes. But I guess it depends. We do have like really good value here though, so maybe up to like a 2-mon is probably okay to push, even if we don't want to throw the 3 because it came out with their Riichi tile. I guess the 2 might be okay here. Plus it's not usable in the Dora shape, and it is still pretty early on. Like if we are going to push something, it would be like right now, because if we, you know, have this going into the middle round, and we start drawing dangerous tiles, at that point we're probably just going to fold. So this might be the tail end of like, I'm kind of willing to push. Yeah, I'm kind of willing to push, but not really. So yeah, it's kind of hard. In the game I actually decided to fold right here, but maybe it was okay just risking like 1 more like 2-mon, because it is still like a guaranteed Mongon if I do get to Tenpai. Even if I am waiting on the 7-mon, that's not that bad. I really don't want to throw the 3-so because it's right next to the Riichi tile, even though it's early on, so that probably doesn't actually say much. But yeah, maybe this right here is like an okay-ish push at this point, since we're still early on, and there's still a lot of Tsuji tiles unaccounted for. Interesting. Alright. Next up, 5th turn, or 6th turn. Oh wait, that was the 6th turn. 8th turn. Dun, 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 dun. Is this the 8th turn? Yeah, this is the 8th turn. What do I drop here? So, this guy cheated the 5-pin right there. 8-pin is Tsuji to the 5-pin. But I already kind of broke it up my hands. Right now I fell back to basically like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm 2 Shanten out right now. And the safe tiles that I have are the 4-so, 5-pin's gone, 8-pin's still around. So yeah, what did I drop here? I only have 1 safe tile at this point, unfortunately. In the last 2 tiles, all of my safe tiles have disappeared. And then I have 1 Tsuji. Because I'm already at 2 Shanten, the chances of me like continuing this hand later on is kind of unlikely. So I should probably throw 4-so's here. I risked 8-pin in the game, but I don't think I should be risking 8-pin at this point. 4-so's could technically still be bad for the dealer, but they haven't showed any like hard push yet, so I don't think they're in Tenpai yet, or at least I hope they're not in Tenpai. So yeah, this looks like a, oh, I might as well kind of just like push around to see if I can get to Tenpai kind of call. But who knows? It could be anything. Yeah, I think probably 4-so's here, considering that I'm at 2 Shanten at this point. And jumping back into Tenpai is going to be pretty hard, considering what I have to drop. In actuality, for the dealer, yeah, they're still like 1 Shanten off, pushing with potential Tanyao Dora Dora at this point. Well, not pushing. Okay, so next up, East 3-0, 3rd turn. So let's see, I got 1 Soza right here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Floating tiles are these. What do I throw? Usually just probably south, or maybe not. Or I was thinking, or west, not, or bleh. North, not south. Okay. So in the game, I'm like, usually at this point, I would just throw out this tile right here. because it's a guest win, so it doesn't do me any good. Plus, I'm still like 4 blocks right now. But I was considering, well, even if I did get like an 8 pin, that's kind of the only thing that would like really help me. If I get a 7 pin, I'm probably gonna drop the 9 pin anyway, for the 3-5-7 shape. So yeah, is like the 8 pin worth keeping the 9 pin for? Not to mention, because of what I have right now, it's like completed, bad shape, good shape, but could possibly be my pair. So if I can make another pair elsewhere, that'd be pretty nice. But 1, 2, 3, 4. So I already have technically 4 blocks ready. This one has the Dora, and so even though it's bad, it's still probably keeping around. I'll still probably be keeping that around. This shape is like bad, but it's really easy to improve. So even if I did get like an 8 pin, I'd still maybe not keep that 8-9 pin shape for long. So let's see, if I threw out north, drew an 8 pin, what would I throw next? Probably, yeah, it's kind of iffy. Probably Haku, it's still early on. Then at that point, if I can complete like anything else, like that 8-9 pin is like the first thing to go. Plus, this hand has like a lot of bad shapes, whereas like this guy right here is already starting to throw like 2 mon and 5 mon out. So this hand is probably not going to be the first one to hit the Tenpai. It might, but unlikely. And so it's like, is the benefit of like the 8 pin right there better than, you know, keeping like everything else around? Because as far as the pair is concerned, I could still get like a pair with the north, and I'm about just as happy as if I got it with the 9 pin, probably more so. Because I can fall back on that later on if anything goes down. So 8 pin is like the only big loss here. And even if I get 8 pin, I'm not that happy with it. So yeah, that's kind of why I decided to throw it. If I didn't have the 3 pin here, I'd probably keep it around, because if we get the 7 pin, you get the 5, 7, 9 pin Ryokan shape. But because we have the 3 here, the 7 pin is already used by that, because we get the 3, 5, 7, so the 9 becomes kind of useless at that point. It's the 4th wheel. Oh. So yeah. I guess it's okay. Alright. Next up, East 3-1. Oh yeah. So I didn't catch the dealer in a death hand right here. So if we watch the reach, what do we see right here? Oh yeah, it's the big flags. Blatant push. Blatant push. Still just Tsumogiri. Doesn't care. Technically safe. Yeah, they were just like Dama 10 from like the get-go, waiting on the safe tile of this person. Well, I kind of missed that. Yeah. Yeah, if I dealt in right there, I would deserve that. Yeah, that was pretty bad. One of my fatal weaknesses. Whenever I have a really shiny hand, I tend to focus on this more. Or if you ever see a con on the field and it's like, oh shit, you tend to focus on that more. And you kind of like lose track of like the other like oh no moments going on right here. Yeah. That was a big miss. Alright. Next up, East 4-0, 4th turn. Oh, yeah, this one. So right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5 blocks. But I have some very interesting potential here. Because if I call this, and I call this, and then I have this around, that's not that bad. But if I treat this as more of like a 1-3 and a 4-6 with these 2 pairs that I can call and the Dora, I technically can see Manzu Honitsu here, which isn't that bad. So, do I play with this, or should I keep my other stuff? In the game, I was really greedy and started going with the 4 Mons from the beginning, because if I did get this, I'd want to get rid of my more dangerous stuff earlier on. But, I mean, the red 5 is still out. Other people's hands will come into effect, like this person right here called, so they're probably aiming to be a little bit fast. So considering that, even though I think it is okay to go for potentially Honitsu here, like flirt with the idea, rather than dropping the 4 Manzu, I should probably drop these right here, especially because I'm planning to call these anyway, and they're easy to call, so having the extra pair right here, even though I have like 3 pairs, is perfectly okay. So yeah, I should probably drop 8, 9 pin over this. Plus, if I get like a red 5, I'd probably just take that as well. Because even like red 5 on the 3/5 weight, with like Chun, Dora, I'm already up to like Mongon level without needing Honitsu. So yeah, this hand turned out a lot nicer than I thought it would. Okay, next up, South 1-1, 8th turn miss, or 6th turn miss. What did I miss? Oh yeah, here. So I should have dropped Chun right here instead of the West. Chun just came out. I passed up on my pawns to call the Hatsu because I didn't want to end up with a Tonki weight, especially if it was like on the Chun or something. This hand's still really far away, and every single shape that I have is really bad. So opening up with a really a cheap and really far hand is not good. Plus I have like no other pair, so like yeah, no calling for me. Since that's the case, since Chun did come out here, and my hand is also really far away from Tenpai, someone's probably gonna hit Tenpai before me. So I should get rid of Chun here along with this one, while no one can call it right now. I can still go for like, you know, closed hand, Dora, maybe even technically Sanshoku, probably not, etc, etc. But it's gonna take time for my hand, and the Dora is out right now. No one called it, so I should probably finish up killing the Dora right here. And, you know, yeah. Instead, I waited a turn, and so if they pulled it, and it's like, oh no, I just messed up. So yeah, I should have dropped it right there. That's when I was like, okay, I probably need to slow down, because I'm making very obvious mistakes. Alright, next up, South 2-0, 5th turn, 7th turn, and the fold. Oh yeah, this one right here. This is an interesting shape. So I got a Ryankan right here, a complete run right here, a pair, and then I have this 3-3, 5-7 shape, which is really good if you don't have a pair, because you can get like the 3 throughout the 5, you can get the 4 throughout the 3, you can get the 6 throughout the 7, and then you can get the 7 and throughout the 5, so it's pretty nice. Now I just got this 1 pin over here, so what do I drop now? Right now I have 3 blocks, or not 3 blocks, I have 3 pairs in my hand technically. 3-mon is 1 out right over there, 4-mon came out right there, that's already a bit weird, kind of like red flaggy. So yeah, what do I drop here? Looking at it again, maybe actually 7 pin. Because if I treat it as like 1 block, and then like 3, 5, 7, 2 block, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks, and then like the 3 pins can become like a flex head if I do get like something over here. Locking in like the 5, 7, and potentially stretching out to the 9s for Sanshoku chance. Yeah, 7 pin's probably better. Because we have 3 pairs right here, and we're not planning, we don't have any like Yakuhai, dropping back to 2 is a lot more efficient, because we have 3 pairs. Let's say we keep all of them around, and we drop the 1 pin. We're losing the 2 pin, which is like, actually it's not that bad right here. We lose 2 tiles. If we drop the 4, 7 pin, we keep the 2 pin and we gain, but we just lose like only 7 pin. So that's actually probably why I decided to go about doing this, because of the 2 pins. So yeah, normally you would drop 7 pin here, because that'll give you more tiles like overall and give you some flexibility on your shapes. But in this case, because the 2 pins were already 2 out, there's no difference between like saving, like dropping the 7 or dropping the 1 as far as your tiles are concerned. And then we're already looking, because there's already 1 3-mon out, we don't want to be left with a Shabo of this, so ideally we can get like 4 or 5 or something, or a 2 to like stretch this out, make it a run, and then use this as a pair and then 1 set, which would be really nice. So yeah, considering this, probably 1 pin, but though in the normal case I would think 7 pin. That's cool. Yeah, Mahjong's kind of fun because it's like, for a lot of like shapes, there's basically the correct answer, not having any other information. But, you know, just knowing that, like, oh, if you see the shape, throw this is not good enough, because you have to know exactly, like, oh, why should we keep this? And then, like, what's the benefits of it? Because depending on the stuff on the board, for instance, like in this case, the 2 pins are out, it might actually be better to do something else. Alright. So, decided to go the 1 pin, and then this happened. A 2-mon came out, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Okay, they dropped like a 4, 3, 2, and a 5, followed by a 2, like inside going out on like both of these. So it's like, is this a Honitsu? Like, what's up? So that's why I'm like, I better get rid of Sozu tiles before they get too hot. And then they dropped a Sozu tile, and now I'm like, okay, if they are going for Honitsu, like, this is already scary. Even if they're going for any other thing, they already dropped like a 4 or 5, you know, a 2, 3, 4 right here. So it's like, too bad. No, run away. And so I decided to basically fold from the 7th turn by dropping the 5 pin. Was that a good idea? Maybe. Yeah, that hand looks really scary, and I don't know what it is. In reality, the hand was pretty scary, in that it was like 1 Shanten ready to go, potential Sanshogu chance, etc., etc. One of the reasons why, after they reached later on, let's see, where is it? Here we go. I really didn't want to throw these 7s, was because it's like, well, they started inward, and then they advanced, like, outward, throwing their tiles, and then they also had 8 pins, so what does that mean? Most probably means they have something around the 8 pin. So that could either be from like a, I don't know, 8, 9, 9 shape. It could be from like a 9, 9 or 9, 8, 8 shape. Because we know they don't have any of the 7 pins, because we have them all right here. So even though we do have all of these 7 pins, I'm like, I really don't want to throw these, because that could be very dangerous. But of course I also don't want to throw any of like this right here, so, you know, start with the 3s, start with the 3s, and now it's like, okay, keep going. Here we go. So now it's like, what do I do? If they're going for like Sozu Honitsu, then it's like, oh, this is like really dangerous. If they're going for Chanta or Sanshoku, the 3s and the 7s are pretty dangerous. And so right here, I was trying to think, oh, I don't know what to throw, I don't know what to throw, ran out of time, and it threw the 2-so. So what should I have thrown here? Yeah, what should I have? One option was, like, to close con, but I really didn't want to do that, because it's the dealer, currently. It's South 2, and they're also in last place. So if they win a big hand, I'm not that happy, because then I'm going to be stuck with the guy to my right fighting for 4th place. So I really don't want to con here. But what are my alternatives? So I don't want to drop 7 pin, because I still can't see one of the 8 pins out right now. They could still have 7, 9 pin weight. I don't see any of like the upper Monzu, so I don't want to drop those. Sozu tiles came out late as well, and it could potentially... It's probably not Sozu Honitsu, considering the 8 pin reach, but upper Sozu is still kind of iffy. 2-so, lower Sozus are still technically available, but I mean, we can see 1, 2, 3 of the 1-sos, so I guess it's not that bad. So maybe Chun here? Except that's still kind of suspicious to their discards. Korak likes the 3-pin here due to the 2-pin Kabe. Oh, there's a 2-pin Kabe. Did I miss that? Oh, I did miss that. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, 3-pin was like really good right there. Yeah, I totally missed the Kabe. Ah, nice eye. Yeah, I completely missed that. Interesting. Oh, and then right here, before they call it, I was really tempted to call a pawn and try to get Tenpai, but it's like, I really don't want to drop the 7s. So yeah. And then because the last 7 right here came out, if I did get anything around the 7s, I could throw out the 8-so pretty safely, and then potentially get Tenpai that way. So yeah. Yeah, I completely missed the 2 pins. Well, nice catch there. Interesting. Yeah, I always panic when I see like a thing like this. It's like, oh my god, what do I do? Should I con? No, I shouldn't con. What do I do though? Alright. Next up, South 2-2, 3-so pawn, and then Chi. So I opened up with my wins. Currently I'm still 2 Shanten out. I have the potential for Honitsu, Dora, Yakuhai, 8,000 point hands. And I decided to pawn this 3-so here, which technically puts me into 1 Shanten. Should I have taken this or not? So the 3-so is kind of good and kind of bad. It's kind of bad in that it kind of makes this 4-5 shape pretty difficult to work with, because we're using up 3 of the 3s right now, so we only have 4 of the 6s and 1 3 left. And if we do want to upgrade this to Honitsu, it's going to have to share basically with the 7-so probably. But we could still get a pair right here, and then this also does make calling the 1-so easier. And it also makes 1-so a little bit safer as well, considering that we can see 3 of the 3s if something does go wrong, so maybe it's not that bad. Plus, we are technically 1 Shanten still, and can get a Mongon, so maybe okay. Maybe okay. Then going forward a little, this guy con, and it's like, oh no, okay, we're scared now. They dropped an 8-so from their hand after calling a pawn of the Haku. They conned, so we can probably assume that they were 1 Shanten at that point, and after calling, they were probably in Tenpai. And then they dropped a 8 Sozu, probably meaning they have something around the Dora, so I really don't want to drop the 7. So what do I drop instead? I could drop the 4 Sozu here, which is safe to them. I could drop the 1 or the 2 Manzu, but right now, if I assume the dealer's in Tenpai, yeah, let's just get rid of my dreams for going for Honitsu. Drop the 4 because it's safe for the dealer, and it doesn't help me that much anyway because there's only 1 3-so left, and so, yeah. Right here, though, yeah, I think 4-so is probably a little bit better. 1 Mon is technically 1 chance, but I don't think that, yeah, I don't think I should be going for Honitsu at this point. I should assume that they're in Tenpai, and that I should go for the shortest route, if any, to get Tenpai and or run away from the dealer, because if I deal into that, I'm going to be very sad, especially since the point situation of right now. Yeah, 4-so would probably be a lot better there. And then we have a beautiful Ricci from last place in the right, and this comes out. So what do we do here? So, dealer's scary. This guy's also scary, and we might deal into Ippatsu. That would be very bad. Yeah, so what do we do here? 6 Sozu came out, and we can either pass it up. Hopefully we get a safe tile. If not, we might risk dealing into Ippatsu. Isozu is technically 1 chance, so it's not that bad. But there's still 1 3 Sozu out, so it's not perfect either. Plus, they dropped a Tuso right over here, pretty close to the Richi, which means that they could very well have something around the Onso, even like a Onso Tonki or a Onso Shabo. It's not impossible. Tumon is not that great either. And so, yeah, what do we do? So with the 6-0, we can cancel off their Ipatsu. Which, the good part is, if we deal in, at least we don't pay Ipatsu. The second part of this is it gives us Tenpai, which could also technically save us. The third part is that whatever we have to drop right here will be safe for the dealer as well. Because if we do call this, drop the 4 Sozu, it's technically a 1 chance for the 1 4 Sozu and still dangerous for the 4 7 Sozu. Luckily, the Doras aren't interacting with that, aside from the red Dora, but we have that, so that's one good thing. And the other good thing about this is, technically, the 1-so becomes a nice Suji at that point, so either A, one of these two people can deal it if they have it, or B, if we do end up not having any safe tiles and needing to fold, we could resort to the 1-so, but once again, I kind of don't want to because they dropped a 2 later on, but I don't have much of a choice right now. So yeah, I don't think this is that bad. We can't deal into the Ipatsu if we call this. We get to Magical Tenpai, and it's also a safe tile to the dealer. If anything, I'm kind of fearing the dealer a little bit more than I'm fearing this person, but yeah. Yeah. And at this point, I was like, oh, safe tile, and then luckily they dealt in. Yeah. Scary stuff. Dealer was Tenpai on the 1-4 Pinzu with, that's a scary hand. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Fear the dealer. Fear the dealer. That's one of the really hard things about basically like a 2-reach situation with not much to go with. You have to choose who you're going to be defending against, and then kind of like threat evaluate. Yeah. The Honitsu was a surprise there, but I figured they were in Tenpai because the con and then the Puln afterwards. Usually you won't con from anything less than 1 Shanten. And so if they call at that point and drop it, then we can pretty safely assume that they're in Tenpai. Okay. Next up, South 3-0, 14th turn. What do we do here? So there's a Richi on the field. We probably don't want to deal in because the point situation going into last, or Oras's last place would not be great. So we want to probably throw the safest tile that we can, but what is that? So from their discards, we can see they threw a 6-pin, 8-pin, and then 4-pin reach. 7-pin isn't super dangerous, but it's not that safe either. For instance, if you had, let's say, a 4, 6, 6, 8-pin in your hand. You drop the 6-pin, next turn you draw and discard the 8-pin, and then next turn you get into Tenpai on your other shape and you're reaching on the 4-pin, waiting on the 7-pin. That's possible. So I kind of don't want to throw the 7-pin if I can help it. But what other tiles do I have? 7 Manzu looks actually probably... Oh, wait, no. I have... Oh, wait, no. This wasn't the turn I was asking. This was the turn I was asking. There we go. Yeah, so what do I drop here? So, right now, none of the Manzu is safe, like, remotely. It's all, like, Musuji at this point. 5 and 8-so are, like, Dora Suji, so that's kind of a no-no. 3 is still Musuji, so yeah, I have 7 and 5-pin. At this point, I decided, let's go with 5-pin over 7, because I was basically relying on the 1-chance Nakasuji over the Suji of the Richi tile right there. Is that correct? I don't know. But yeah, that was my reasoning of... I was more scared of the 7-pin Suji than I was 5-pin. But I mean, technically they're both really dangerous. Yeah, that's an interesting balancing act right there. I kind of don't know what to do. At which point I send this question to everyone I know. Yep. I really don't trust 7-pin. The 6-pin followed by something followed by the 4-pin makes it like really suspicious. It's like the 4-pin was probably something to do with their weight, because even if like as far as like safe tile ordering is concerned, you would drop the 4-pin if you were just getting rid of that shape completely before the 8-pin. And so we can probably assume that their weight has something to do with the 4-pin. Now, is that like a 4-4-pin or 3-4-4-pin? Probably not. Maybe. Probably not. If I look into this even more. Oh, actually, maybe so. So if they did have like a 3-4-4-pin, they could see 1 right here, so it's only helping them 1. But if their other like pair was really good, maybe that's benefit of keeping it around. But usually, like in mid-round, you want to like slim down, and especially if you're keeping it for like 3 tiles over like an 8-pin. Though I guess 8-pin's not that much safer anyway. Yeah. So it's just a question of, do I think 7-pin Suji is more dangerous, or do I think the 1-chance 5-pin is more dangerous? Yeah, it's a bit weird. It is technically a double 1-chance, though. With the 4 pins and then also the 3 pins that I see. It is kind of possible that they just didn't follow ordering to save the 4-pin to reach, to basically just confuse their opponents, to try to throw them off the tracks of their actual, like, weight. But yeah, that's kind of difficult. Yeah. So in reality, why did they hold on to the 4-pin zoo? Huh? Huh? Oh, I guess, but, they're hoping for a 3-pin draw to maybe get the Ipeco?
Chi.
Or maybe for the 4-pin draw to hopefully get Tenhou, except 6-pin would be better.
Each.
Huh. That's a bit weird. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Oh. Okay. Alright, next question. South 4-1. First turn? So what do I drop here? So Right now, I'm kind of in the safe zone. This guy could still get a Mongon Sumo, so I kind of want to avoid that. Winning a quick hand right here would be pretty nice. If I can raise points enough to get maybe a Mongon Sumo, that would be great. Currently, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 potential blocks right now. All that could be considered Chanta blocks. The door is also the 9-pin, so I could open up with Haku, Chanta, Dora Dora for a Mongon, which would be enough with like Sumo or direct hit on first and the game. So should I just go like bold right here and drop the 5 Sozu and 4 Manzu? Especially since this is probably going to be a call heavy hand anyway. Not to mention, even though last place is under the constraints of getting a Mongon Sumo, they could still technically Ron me with, let's say, does 5,200 work? No. So yeah, they basically need like a Mongon Ron on me anyway. But I don't want to help them later on. If they reach, I'll probably just fold to the best of my ability. Because they still have to Sumo their hand, which usually doesn't have that high of a rate. And if I have to push Dangerous tiles when... if I have to push Dangerous tiles, then in a lot of cases it's going to be better to fold, so... yeah. Should I just start off throwing 4 Mon and 5 Sozu here? Maybe, maybe not. So the good points of it is I'll have like pretty decent defense capabilities later on. Another good thing is that it could become a potential Mongon. I can call it. The bad part is I'm losing some of the easily upgraded shapes in the middle. For instance, like a 5 or 3 right here, or a 4 or a 6 right there. And I'm not quite out of Mongon range yet either. So it might be more beneficial for me to just go for like the quickest hand possible, and then worry about trying to get first place. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. Personally, I kind of like it, because in most hand patterns, especially with like a 9-pin Dora, that this person can get a Mongon Sumo with, like Tanyao and using Red Dora is going to be in the highest spot. So them throwing outwards, going inwards, in other words, them feeding me delicious tiles, is quite possible. So yeah, I kind of want to just start throwing off the middle tiles. I don't know if that's bad or not, though. Because you also have like red 5s and stuff, but at this point, I'm not really needing that many red 5s, and like, you know, Chanta and using the Dora would already account for any points I would need. Except actually getting the Dora and using the Dora might be a bit of a hassle, especially if it ends up as my weight. It's going to be kind of hard to come out. Though 4th place might do it if they're desperate. So I guess it's kind of fine. Yeah, always uncertain with like faraway hands like this. But I guess if you're trying to like jump over a really big riff, you just gotta like, you know, run at it full speed, don't look back. Yeah. Technically, 4 Shanten from Kokushi. Not that I would do that. Alright, so that's all for this game. So I'm going to be jumping into another game, so see you in a bit. In approximately 5 minutes when the stream starts again. And thanks for watching.